Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Rain Sepulveda. Hello everyone, my name is Rain Sepulveda, and I did my project on Jane Schoenbrun and gender identity, and I saw the TV Club. So, Jane Schoenbrun is both the writer and director of two main movies, I Saw the TV Glow, and their previous feature, We're All Going to the World's Fair. Jane is a trans feminine non-binary person. They use they/them pronouns. They graduated from Boston University's film program in 2009. Their formative education comes from working as a part of the New York's Filmmaker Project, where they connect aspiring filmmakers with the resources necessary in order to see their films through, as well as later working for Kickstarter to help other filmmakers create campaigns on their platform in order to generate funding for movies. It wasn't until their prior film, We're All Going to the World's Fair, that they came to realize that their struggle with gender dysphoria had been seeping into their films. It was during the filming of that movie that Schoenbrun discovered that they were transgender, and that more interestingly, the feelings that they had been wrestling with thematically through that movie were feelings of gender dysphoria. Now, on to I Saw the TV Glow and what it has to do with this movie specifically. The movie takes place in America in 1996. The story follows Owen, a transcoded character in denial of their identity. He is aided by his best friend Maddie, who is played by the non-binary actor Jack Haven, and who tries to rouse him from his senses, but Owen just isn't ready to have that conversation yet. So, despite all of Maddie's warnings of what would happen if he refuses to wake up, he's still just not ready for that. So he stays asleep. And so everything that he was warned about ultimately ends up coming to pass. By the end of the movie, time keeps blinking away faster and faster and faster until he's an old man, but he is ready to finally look inside himself. Now, onto the representation. This film deals with multiple different themes, and one of those being the beginning of the long journey, or how that journey often begins when the egg finally cracks. And an egg cracking is slang for when a trans person finally comes to terms with themselves and leaves denial, like wakes up from denial. And the way that applies to the film is, in the film, Owen is invited out by Maddie, who returns home after being gone for a while. And while Maddie has finally come to terms with herself, Owen is still struggling. Owen is still asleep. He's still in denial. And throughout his life, Owen has just been repressing, literally burying his real self, and Maddie came back to help pull that back out of him. As Maddie presents the facts to Owen that inside of him is someone else, a girl named Isabel, the counterpart. Owen dismisses her points. He thinks it's absurd. And when he goes home, he begins to think about it some more, and slowly the pieces start lining up, and it hits him all at once. He's been living a lie. He's been in a haze, not quite alive, not quite dead, just empty and feeling wrong. And he wants to finally wake up. He wants to go home to himself, knowing that these things can actually maybe come to an end. That he can no longer feel this feeling of emptiness, or maybe feel alive, actually. He's excited to try to take it. But then, not great news happened to Owen. Another issue, or another topic that the movie deals with, is the comfort of sleepwalking. A lot of this hits Owen altogether. And though it catches his attention, the world is not very friendly. After Owen's egg cracks, his father, likely a stand-in for the patriarchy, comes in and drags Owen to the shower, where he's hit with scalding water. A threat as to what will happen if he continues. A threat that is well known from society. And Owen screams. And he says, "This is not my home," as that shout echoes out of the bathroom. He was invited by Maddie to go back to the school where they first met. And after hearing that about Maddie and how they needed to properly dig up his true self, they walk across the football field. But the fear of that interaction and the fear of what might come afterwards, he knows who he is now. He might not be happy, but he knows who he is. Effectively. Sufficiently. But to then forget about that, to wake up from that dream, is to accept a whole new reality, a whole new future, a whole new plan. Whatever might have been the plan, that goes up in smoke. And between that, the pressures of society, its own antagonism, he just wasn't ready. So he ran away. He tackled Maddie to the ground, and he just ran away. And he puts it behind him. As life continues, life just marches forward. It starts flashing forward, faster and faster. Soon he has kids, and soon after that, he's now old. And though he's able to find his way back to himself, again, it demonstrates how the road of transitioning just isn't always a straight line. But regardless of that, though he's able to find himself again, it demonstrates how the line of transitioning isn't always a straight line. But there is still time, even amidst our fears. Regarding what people like to say about the film, as director Jane Schoenbrun said themselves, sometimes people will be like, I saw this film because I needed to confirm something. But people are having that experience with the work, and they're having that experience with the work exactly because the work didn't try to create an oversimplified, externalized sort of image of transness, but spoke from within a feeling that they could relate to. In conclusion, Jane Schoenbrun is a great rising filmmaker that uses their professional and personal experience to great effect to tell stories that deeply resonate to trans identities on a personal level. Their latest films depict the ill-portrayed nuances of gender dysphoria, non-linear journey of transition, the fear that comes with self-acceptance as it opens trans people up to known dangers and possible unknown futures. And the exploration that comes along with it. Thank you.